Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Delaney. Today's video is such an exciting one. This is going to be my spring fashion trends for 2025. I do one of these videos every season for the past couple of years and they are my absolute favorites to do. They are so fun. I also have to admit that I have been yearning for spring. Like, I am so over winter. I feel like this is a semi-universal feeling that winter is like, we would like it to be the shortest month. I mean, the shortest season of the year, I think, because it's really fun and magical until a few weeks after New Year's for me. And then I'm like, okay, we're over this. Like, the holidays are done. I'm ready to move on to spring. I'm actually ready for summer, if I'm being completely honest. But we'll have to take spring first. So I'm really excited that it is just about time to start looking forward to the spring trends and spring dressing and all of that kind of fun stuff. A little backstory on how I do these videos. Also, by the way, I filmed a couple of these in the car before and I actually really liked it. I thought it was fun. It was during when we were living at the remodel, so I couldn't film in the house, and Clayton is busy in the house today on a call, so I didn't want to be like loud, so I'm back in the car. But anyways, a little backstory on how I like to do these videos. So I spend a lot of time researching fashion trends for work, obviously creating content around it, but I also have just always loved learning about fashion and trends, so it really is like a passion project for me. And the way that I like to do it for these videos is looking on social media. There is so much inspiration and information on fashion and trends and everything, so I definitely take note of what's happening on those platforms. Pinterest is a huge one for me. Instagram and TikTok also are. YouTube is a great place for this more in-depth information. I also love to look what they've been doing on the runways at the fashion shows. I also love reading articles from publications like Vogue, Cosmopolitan, Harper's Bazaar, things like that, and things that I see in real life, like what I'm seeing people wear out and about. That is a lot more true, I would say, when I'm in a bigger city. When I'm somewhere smaller and less populated, I don't feel as inspired of what I'm seeing in real time. But another really big indicator to me is I am a chronic online shopper, and I should say a really chronic online browser. I probably look at clothing websites once a day, and although I don't buy something every day, I just love to browse and see like what they're putting out there, what they're selling, what is really trending in terms of the consumer market. So that is a little backstory for how I do this. Also, I always like to mention in these trend videos, there is so many trends. There's no right or wrong. These are the ones that were really speaking to me for this video. Take them or leave them. If you don't like a trend, there is no pressure ever to participate in it. If you're inspired by something and you're loving what it is creating in your mind and you want to bring it to life, that is a beautiful thing about trends, but take them or leave them. Another fun thing about me is I write everything down. So here is my notebook full of the spring trends. Let's get into it. I will also link things on my LTK that correspond with this. And if you guys would like to see a part 2 of this video of me actually styling the trends with my clothes, let me know, and that can be like next week's video or something. Okay, every season I like to pick out a few color trends that are just kind of dominating the scene and really popping up and also speaking to me personally. So the first one that I'm going to talk about, which I did mention in my overall 2025 fashion trends video, is pale pink, baby pink, pastel pink, whatever you want to call it. A light pink is definitely trending. So this color is definitely speaking to me. I have not been a huge pink girly. I thought it was very ironic because I'm wearing pink for today. I got this off of Amazon, by the way, and it's so cute. I was so shocked. It's very like Scandinavian style. But anyways, I have not been like the biggest pink girl. For the record, I feel like some girls, everything is in pink and they love it so much and it all looks so cute on them, and I love that aesthetic, but I have never been like the hardcore pink loving girly. So this light pink I have actually become very fond of over the past couple of months. I feel like I mention this all the time, but I think it's the shades and the hues of pink, like the undertones and how they really mix with like your skin color, your eye color, your hair color, I don't know, just your palette basically. And I think that there is some really nice pastel pinks that I personally really like, so I've had a lot of fun mixing this in. I've loved like the feathery, fluffy pink pastel pink coats. When I was reading about this on the runway, like Chanel and Miu Miu were doing this, and something that they mentioned, I think this was in, I can't remember which publication, I'll link some articles for you guys down below, but they were saying that the pastel pink on the runways was being mixed with like harder things. The pastel pink is very soft and feminine, but it was being mixed with like the color black or studs or leather or something. So a really nice juxtaposition, which I think is a really fun way to do it. But I also love just like fully playing up the ultra feminine soft feel that this light pink gives. So feel free to take that as you will. I really like this in a satin material too. I think it's so pretty, and this can be in clothing, shoes, accessories, etc. Okay, so staying in that same vein, I want to talk about another color that is going to be huge for this spring that I've been seeing so much that I am really falling in love with. So that is going to be pistachio green, and I am so obsessed with it. I have been seeing this so much recently, and it really is feeling like the it color to me. I mean, I've heard so much and read so much about pastel pink as well. I think that's going to be super dominating, but I just feel like this pistachio green is second to none. So I am loving this. I recently planned an outfit that I'm hopefully going to wear to New York soon that is pistachio green, and it's just so fun. I think that this is also really fun to play up in like a girly way as well. So the top that I ordered, it's from that brand Boobish. I have the burgundy version of this top, which is one of my favorite fall and winter colors, but it's got like feathers and it's sheer, and it's just, pistachio green is like a fairy color. It is bringing out like a really girly, feminine, playful aspect, I think, and that's kind of surprising because I wouldn't say that green is like a super feminine color, but I feel like what this shade of green is bringing out is just really fun. Any pastels are obviously really classic and normal to see in the spring, but these two in particular are going to be huge colors, and I am so here for both of them. Again, this is really cute in clothing and accessories and shoes, everything and anything. Okay, and because I was talking about colors so far, I have to do one more as almost an honorable mention, although I did see it in a couple of roundup videos, and that is butter yellow. That is one of my all-time favorite colors. I am so obsessed with it. It is like a part of my personality at this point. And again, this is a super classic to be expected spring color, so it's not unheard of or weird to put it on this list, but I do feel like in years past maybe it was trending even a little bit harder than it is now. So we will still be seeing a ton of butter yellow, and I think it is still trending relatively, but I do feel like I've seen pistachio green and pale pink talked about and seen just a little bit more, but still, we love butter yellow. We're gonna ride for her till the end. She made it on this list, and literally I love every single thing in the color butter yellow. So, you know, do literally anything you want with it and you're probably gonna love it. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is pearl jewelry. I have been seeing this specifically a ton in the retailer space. So as I've been doing my little daily shopping and browsing and whatnot, I've seen a ton of jewelry that has pearl accents or pearl elements to it. And what I really like about this is I think that pearls are iconic. They're so classy. They're very traditional feeling to me, and they can often be kind of like plain while still being a statement. Like just a string of pearls is obviously such a statement, but it's super simple. And what I've been seeing recently on the retailer websites with the pearls is that they're a little bit more edgy and fun and funky. And what I really like about this is it feels like a mix of old and new a little bit. So I'm really loving that. Like, for example, I just ordered a pair of pearl earrings that are like this very weird, interesting kind of like squiggly rounded shape, and I think that that's so different and fun for pearls. I've seen a ton of jewelry that's made out of like mother of pearl. It gives like a very beachy feel, obviously, with like crosses and hearts and things like that. I'll put pictures for everything. But yeah, I've just been seeing a ton of pearl. So think a little bit outside of the box with that, not as traditional. I mean, if you want to wear just a string of pearls, that would be stunning too, but a little bit different on the pearls lately, but a ton of them is what I'm saying. Okay, this is another one that I talked about in my overall 2025 fashion trends video, and that is the Fisherman aesthetic. And I think I even said in that video that I feel like the time for this trend to really shine is going to be spring, because they just kind of go hand in hand. And now that we're here and we're approaching spring, I feel like I am seeing this so much and I am loving it, because it works so well. I also love that this trend is a little bit more masculine. It's super casual, it's laid back, and it's really, really comfortable. So this is going to be a ton of stripes, which is probably my favorite part of that trend. Vests, loafers, or like boat shoes. This is a little bit of like preppy East Coast style as well, or it can be skewed a little bit more, I don't want to say like grungy, but a little bit more, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but you know what I mean, where it's like literal fisherman set. Like, I want to say the word sloppy, that's not the right word at all, but it's like super relaxed, super casual, you know? So like a really baggy off the shoulder striped sweater and some shorts or something and some rain boots that are very worn. Like, that is a really laid back version of the fisherman trend, but it can also be a little bit more upscale, I guess, with like a boat neck collar and loafers or boat shoes or whatever. So there's a few different ways to play with this trend, but in general, I just think it's super cute. And I think I was reading about that in Glamour, but I've seen it like all over. I think Miu Miu had elements of this on their runway as well. So it's definitely a thing, it's definitely happening, and I think that you can have a lot of fun with it. Okay, the next one that I'm going to talk about is a little controversial, and I'm still feeling out where I stand with this trend. But if you haven't heard, skinny jeans are coming back, and I think on my 2025 fashion trends video, I was kind of like, I've heard some people say that skinny jeans are coming back, and some people say that the pants are going to get even bigger and wider. I thought that it was going to go bigger and wider, and now I'm like, oh, it actually doesn't look like it's going that way. It looks like the skinny jean is in fact coming back, which is crazy to me. And like I said, I still don't know how I feel about it, but I think like Alex Earle's frame campaign and her 2 pairs of skinny jeans was really like I've seen a lot of that on social media. So I think that's part of what is making me think, oh, that is definitely for sure happening. And I've just seen people talk about skinny jeans a lot on social media. So I'm like, I fear that this is happening, and I fear I may dabble and see if I can style them again. I also saw a video where the girl was like, it's not actually styling skinny jeans if you wear boots with it, because it's like covering up the skinny jean. And I'm like, that is absolutely what I would do if I were to style a skinny jean. So like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do anything else but a boot. I also think skinny jeans has so much to do with like body type, and I'm like, I just don't think it's flattering for me. But when I was reading about this on Glamour, they were also saying it's not necessarily like the skinny jean itself that's coming back, but maybe just like a slimmer, tighter fit pant, but not as extreme as a skinny jean. So I think there's, you know, it's a little bit of up for debate still, where how firmly the skinny jean is coming back. This was also on the runways with like McQueen, Prada, Mugler, so you know, she's out there, she's making her way in. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is really cute and fun. I feel like spring in general is just like such a youthful, new life, fun season, and it's like bringing out, it's like coming back to life and like budding from winter. So I feel like it brings that out a lot in the fashion as well. So this next trend I feel like really fits into that, and it's basically just like charms and accessories and over accessorizing on everything. So a really good example of this is, I'm sure you guys have seen on social media, Pinterest, TikTok, whatever, a lot of over accessorizing of other accessories. So like people have purses that have purses now. So like a little purse on a big purse, or like a purse keychain on a purse, bag keychains, car keychains, phone keychains, like charm bracelets, charm necklaces, all of these like charms on everything, and just like accessorizing to the max. And I feel like this is so like inner child, youthful vibes, because it just reminds me of like being a little girl and wanting everything to be like cutesy, I guess. So I'm seeing this everywhere. I think it's so fun. It's definitely like very trendy. It's not like super chic or classic or anything, but you know, I have fun with stuff like that. Sometimes it's just like playing around with fashion. Okay, as the lighting changes on me, I'm just gonna move the car a little bit. I'm climbing over the seat every time, and I'm out of breath. So don't mind me, guys. Okay, the next trend I want to talk about was something that was also an overarching theme for 2025, and that's this like boho Isabel Marant style. Like, I've seen it called Isabel Marant style a lot on social media. I've also, like, in the publications, they're mostly calling it like boho, return of boho, boho chic, whatever. So this one is really fun. I was so into boho style when I was younger. Like, it was my whole personality. I was always wearing those hats and like really flowy tops. Like, Free People was my ultimate brand when I was younger, and I feel like over the past 5 or 6 years that really like faded for me, and I wasn't as big into boho style. I still kept like a few elements here and there, but I was like really into it. And so that's really nostalgic for me. Like I love playing back into that. And this Isabel Marant girl style, it's a very cool boho, which like the Free People girl is just like that too. And it's almost like a little bit edgy and boho get together, and I really like that. There's also been a lot of versions of this trend that I've seen that's like almost the opposite of edgy. It's like boho and sophisticated get together or something. So there's multiple ways that you could take this, but just think a lot of frills, a lot of lace, a lot of layers, a lot of jewelry, a lot of layering of jewelry, chunkiness. This is like 70s inspired. There's beading, there's frills. It's just like a really fun, groovy, yummy trend and style and like aesthetic. So I think it's super fun to play around with, but if it's totally like not your vibe and you're not feeling that, that is, you know, like I said, totally fine too. This is also always something that's really fun to be trending like around festival style, and I feel like festival style in general always has some like boho elements to it, but I feel like there's been years where that wasn't as, you know, relevant for festival season, and I feel like it's really just like a perfect way to dress for a festival, so that's always fun. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is a little bit controversial as well, and it's honestly not that far from a skinny jean. So I've talked about this before, I think probably in spring styling videos as well, but it's the Capri. I know that the Capri is just not for everyone. I'm not even sure if I should be allowed to wear a Capri. Everyone is allowed to wear everything. I'm just kidding. But you know, she's a hard thing to style. She can be really tricky. I think capris look so good on tall people, if I'm being honest, and if you're already like on the shorter side like myself, I'm not super short, I'm like 5'4.5", but you know, I'm not super tall, and a capri, you know, it can make you look a little bit shorter. So it's a tricky, weird thing, but I also think that the capris are timeless and iconic, you know, to put it very simply. So I'm always gonna kind of cheer for them. I may not wear them a ton myself, but there's just something about the capri that I feel like it deserves respect. So I think that capris, obviously they fit for spring and summer. They just make sense for it, and they kind of make me feel excited about it. And I think some really fun ways to style them, they give like a vintage feel. Obviously I think it's kind of like implied that you're giving this like vintage feel when you're wearing capris, but I love them styled with like a kitten heel, just like very chic and Euro, I guess. I mean, from my research, capris come from the island of Capri in Italy, so they are very European, but like with a little kitten heel, sling back, so chic. And you can do like a blazer if you want to dress it up, or you can do a cardigan if you want to dress it down, or like a boat neck top. I just, you know, I really respect that. Like I said, I may not be able to pull it off that well or that often myself, but I'm gonna put some respect on capris. Okay, this is actually kind of similar to capris as well, and the next trend that I want to talk about is scarves, like silk satin scarves, and this gives like a very vintage feel, but I feel like it's also giving this interesting modern cool girl feel, which I feel like headscarves and silk scarves and everything back in the day was also like very cool girl, but I love the way that it's been like modernized a little bit. So I think it was maybe last year at Coachella, Hailey Bieber wore like a baseball cap and sunglasses and a headscarf over it, and it looked so cute and cool, and I feel like everybody loved that, and it was just, you know, she's like a very cool girl. So I loved what that was doing. I've seen that so much on social media, and I just think that everyone looks so cool doing it. I actually have not tried that myself, but I'm like, I mean, I'm not gonna wear it like on my everyday out and about in my small town right now, but sometime I'm gonna whip out the headscarf and the baseball cap, and hopefully you guys are gonna cheer me on when I do it, because I think it's so cute and cool. And you can use the silk scarf for so many different ways. You can just wear it on like without a hat, just on your head. You can make it like a headband, you can make it a neck scarf, you can put it through a belt loop. Like, it's just a cute, fun accessory, and it's very springy. The next one I want to talk about is I saw it written about in a few articles, and I've seen it a lot on social media, but I didn't even really know what to call it or what to label it. And a couple of the articles that I read, I think it was like Glamour, Vogue, Marie Claire, one of those, they were calling it minimalism, and I think one of them called it like textured minimalism. And the best way for me to explain this, but it's oftentimes challenging for me, I should say. But anyways, it's like an earthy looking outfit to me. I don't know why I use the term earthy, but it's like earthy, organic, kind of angular, interesting, but plain all at once. So the minimalism comes in because it's simple kind of, but then the textured part I think comes in because it's interesting. So interesting and simple are not opposites. They can be together, I believe. And that's kind of what this trend I'm talking about is achieving. So an example of this, like a visual for you guys, is like a lot of ruching or draping. So it's almost like interesting shapes, but all with just like one, probably not like a print or anything on it. And you know those outfits, I think it's kind of Zara and Mango vibes, those outfits where it's like a dress shirt, kind of like a really long shirt that goes with a pair of pants, and they're made out of the same material, and it's very like geometric feeling and interesting lines, but it's still simplistic and minimal. That is kind of what I'm trying to explain. So hopefully that made like a smidgen of sense. I feel like I just blabbed about that for a while, so who knows what you guys are thinking. But we'll put some pictures here so that there's visuals as well. But anyways, I really like that because I think that it looks so cool. It also looks very effortless and artsy, and most of these things look super, super comfortable to me. So it's kind of like 10s across the board. Okay, the last one that I wanted to talk about, I also mentioned in my overall 2025 fashion trends, and it's like the Coquette style, which is just very, it's like Baroque, it's corsets or corset. I still don't know the right way to say that, or maybe both ways are okay. I've mentioned this before in a video, but it's like, it looks like it should be said corset to me. But then I remember one time I said that in a video and people were like, why is she saying corset? Like, no, why is she saying corset? Like corset. So I still don't know. I should look it up. But anyways, it's very feminine. There's lots of layering, lots of ruffles, lots of frills. So it's, you know, it's this like upplayed kind of ultra feminine Baroque period style, and I think that this goes so well hand in hand with spring. They make sense together. Like pastels go with that, florals go with that, just it's giving spring for sure. And I think that this was like shown on the runways with like Valentino, Loewe. I think I was reading about it in Vogue. I read about it all for the 2025 fashion trends. Like it was a really talked about thing, and I think spring again is really a time to see this aesthetic shine. So like bloomer shorts with the little ruffles, yeah, I think like corsets are so classic of this, just like really girly fun things. And I think like House of CB is a brand that does this really well. So if you're looking to like play into that aesthetic, that is a really good place to shop for that. And that was everything for this video. I always have so much fun talking to you guys about this. I would love to know what trends you guys are loving for spring 2025, what you're inspired by, and what you think of these trends. Also let me know if you want to see that part 2 where I would be styling all these trends. And as always, I appreciate you guys being here and watching and cheering me on. So I will see you guys next time.